Taemin stared at his screen and blinked 3 times. The numbers made no sense. His coffee cup sat cold beside his keyboard as he ran the scan again. The same impossible readings appeared on his monitor. This can't be right, he whispered to himself. The monitoring station floated in space above Vezrak Prime, a peaceful world where the 3 great powers of the galaxy met for trade talks. Taemin had worked here for 6 years, watching ships come and go. He knew every type of vessel in the galactic database. He had seen Vrathari hive ships with their living metal hulls. He had tracked luminous Commonwealth energy vessels that looked like flying stars. He had logged thousands of Corvin Empire warships with their dark, angular designs. But this thing on his screen was different. Very different. Sujin looked up from her communication panel across the room. Taemin, you look like you saw a ghost. What's wrong? I think I found something, Taemin said. His voice shook a little. Can you come look at this? Sujin walked over to his station. Her green uniform marked her as a communications officer for the Galactic Council. She had been trying to contact a late merchant ship when Taemin called her. What am I looking at? She asked, staring at the screen. A ship? Taemin said. But look at these readings. Sujin's eyes went wide. The energy signature showed power levels that should be impossible. The ship's size was massive, bigger than a Corvin battlecruiser. But the most strange thing was what the computer couldn't tell them. The database shows no match, Sujin said slowly. How can there be no match? That's what I thought, Taemin said. I ran it 5 times. The computer doesn't know what this ship is. Sujin felt a chill run down her back. In 300 years of galactic peace, every ship design had been shared between the 3 powers. Trade agreements required it. Security demanded it. There were no unknown ships. Where did it come from? She asked. Taemin pointed to his tracking screen. Hyperspace exit point here about 10 minutes ago. But here's the weird part. I didn't detect a hyperspace entry signature. That's impossible. I know. Every ship makes a signature when it drops out of hyperspace. The energy release is huge. But this thing just appeared. Sujin grabbed her headset. I need to call Commander Hyunwoo. Hyunwoo arrived at Taemin's station 3 minutes later. The commander was a short, serious man who had served on monitoring stations for 20 years. He had seen every kind of space anomaly, but when he looked at Taemin's screen, his face went pale. Run a full scan, he ordered. I want to know everything about this vessel. Already tried, Taemin said. Our scanners can't penetrate the hull. It's like the ship is made of something that blocks our sensors. Life signs? That's the strangest part, Taemin said. He switched to another screen. I'm detecting life forms, but they don't match any known species. Hyunwoo stared at the biological readings. The life signs showed beings with internal structures unlike anything in the galactic database. Their body chemistry was completely foreign. First contact protocol, Hyunwoo said quietly. Sujin, start broadcasting standard greeting messages on all frequencies. Sujin rushed back to her station. She began sending the universal welcome message used by all 3 galactic powers. The message used mathematical concepts and basic pictographs that any space-traveling species should understand. Minutes passed. No response. Try the emergency channels, Hyunwoo ordered. Still nothing. Taemin watched his sensors as the unknown ship moved slowly through space. It wasn't heading toward any planet or station. It seemed to be just watching. Commander, Taemin said, the ship is scanning us. What do you mean? I'm detecting sensor sweeps coming from the vessel. It's running detailed scans of our station, the planet below, and the ships in orbit. Hyunwoo felt sweat on his forehead. An unknown species with unknown technology was studying them. This was every commander's nightmare. Get me a priority channel to Galactic Council headquarters, he told Sujin. While Sujin worked to establish the connection, more readings came in from Taemin's station. The unknown ship's energy output was increasing. Not in a threatening way, but as if it was powering up more systems. Commander, Taemin called out, I'm detecting smaller vessels launching from the main ship. On the screen, they could see tiny dots separating from the huge vessel. The smaller ships moved with impossible speed and grace. They spread out in a perfect formation around the monitoring station. Are they attacking? Hyunwoo asked. No, sir, Taemin said. They're just positioning themselves, like they're getting ready for something. Sujin's communication board lit up with incoming messages. Ships throughout the system had detected the unknown vessel. Merchants were asking for instructions. Military vessels were requesting permission to investigate. Tell everyone to maintain distance, Hyunwoo ordered. No one approaches the unknown ship until we know more. The priority channel to Galactic Council headquarters finally connected. A Vrathari council member appeared on the screen, her insect-like features showing obvious concern. Commander Hyunwoo, we received your emergency signal. What is your situation? We have an unknown vessel in our system, Hyunwoo said. Species and technology completely outside our database. The ship appeared without standard hyperspace signatures and is not responding to our communications. The Vrathari's large compound eyes seemed to study the data being transmitted. After a moment she spoke again. This is impossible. All spacefaring species in this galaxy are known to us. I thought so too, Hyunwoo said, but the evidence is right here. Meanwhile, in the observation deck of the monitoring station, other crew members had gathered to look at the unknown ship through the large windows. They could see it clearly now, a sleek, white vessel that seemed to shimmer slightly in the starlight. It's beautiful, whispered one of the technicians. The ship's design was unlike anything they had ever seen, where Vrathari ships looked organic and alive, and Corvan ships looked built for war. This vessel looked perfect. Every line seemed planned for both beauty and function. Taemin noticed something new on his screens. Commander, the ship is moving. Everyone turned to watch as the unknown vessel began to change position. It moved with smooth, flowing motions that seemed to ignore the normal laws of spaceflight. No visible engines fired, but the ship glided through space like it was swimming through water. Where is it going? Hyunwoo asked. Toward the planet, Taemin said. But at this speed and angle, it looks like it wants to establish orbit. Sujin tried her communications again. She sent greetings in the languages of all three galactic powers. She used mathematical sequences. She even tried music, hoping that might get a response. Nothing. The unknown ship reached orbit around Vezrak Prime and stopped. It took a position directly above the planet's capital city, where representatives from all three galactic powers were meeting for trade negotiations. That can't be a coincidence, Hyunwoo said. Taemin ran more scans on the ship's position. Commander, it has perfect line of sight to the conference center where the trade talks are happening. The implications hit everyone at the same time. This unknown species had appeared in their most important system at the exact moment when all three galactic powers had representatives on the planet below. They've been watching us, Sujin said quietly. They knew about the meeting. Hyunwoo nodded grimly. An unknown species with superior technology had been observing the galaxy without anyone knowing. Now they had revealed themselves at the most significant diplomatic gathering in decades. Get me emergency channels to all three homeworlds, Hyunwoo ordered. The Vrathari Collective, the Luminous Commonwealth, and the Corvan Empire need to know about this immediately. As the crew worked frantically to spread the news, the unknown ship hung silently in orbit. Its presence cast a shadow over everything the galaxy thought it knew about itself. The age of three galactic powers was about to end. A fourth player had entered the game and no one knew what they wanted. Captain Do-hyun sat in his command chair and watched the alien space station on the main screen. After 2 hours of complete silence, he had decided it was time to make contact. Ji-won, what's our status? He asked his tactical officer. All systems normal, Captain, Ji-won replied from her station. The alien monitoring post has been scanning us repeatedly, but their technology can't penetrate our hull shielding. Good. Sung-ho, how are our engines? Chief Engineer Sung-ho looked up from his console. Running perfectly, sir. The quantum drives are barely using any power to maintain position. Do-hyun nodded. The Indomitable Dawn was humanity's most advanced warship, but even their oldest vessels had technology that surpassed anything these aliens possessed. The past 40 years of secret observation had taught humans everything about galactic civilization. Yoonji, what can you tell me about the species on that station? Do-hyun asked. Xenobiologist Yoonji had been studying the alien life signs since they arrived. I'm detecting at least 3 different species, Captain. Based on our previous observations, they appear to be representatives from the main galactic powers. The insect people, the energy beings, and the warrior race? Correct. The Vrathari, the Luminous Commonwealth, and the Corvan Empire. Do-hyun had read all the reports from the secret observation missions. Humanity had watched these 3 civilizations for decades without being detected. They knew about their technologies, their cultures, their strengths and weaknesses. Captain, Communications Officer Mincio spoke up. They're still broadcasting greeting messages. Should I respond? Yes, but let's not shock them too much, Do-hyun said with a slight smile. Send a standard diplomatic greeting. Use their own protocols. Mincio's fingers moved across her console. She had studied alien communication methods for years. Within moments, she had composed a message using the exact format the three galactic powers used for first contact. On the monitoring station, Soo-jin nearly fell out of her chair when her communication board suddenly came alive. Commander, she shouted. They're responding. Hyun-woo rushed to her station. What are they saying? It's perfect, Soo-jin said, staring at her screen. They're using our standard first contact protocols exactly right. The mathematical sequences, the pictographs, even the diplomatic language patterns. How is that possible? I don't know. It's like they've studied our communication methods for years. The message was simple but clear. Greetings from the vessel Indomitable Dawn. We come in peace and request formal diplomatic contact with your governmental representatives. What shocked the aliens most was not the message itself, but how perfectly it followed their own rules. The unknown species had used exactly the right format for requesting diplomatic meetings. They want to talk to government officials, Soo-jin said. Send it up the chain, Hyun-woo ordered. This is way above our authority level. While the aliens struggled to process this development, Captain Do-hyun received his own communications from Earth Command. Captain, this is Admiral Kyung-ho, came the voice over the secure channel. What's your assessment of the situation? The aliens are exactly as expected from our observation reports, Do-hyun replied. 3 species, moderate technology levels, peaceful intentions. They seem very surprised by our appearance. Any sign they know we've been watching them? None at all. Their reactions suggest complete surprise at our existence. Admiral Kyung-ho was silent for a moment. Very well. You have permission to proceed with formal first contact. Follow diplomatic protocols, but don't reveal too much about our capabilities yet. Understood, sir. Back on the monitoring station, chaos was beginning to spread. The emergency communications to all 3 homeworlds had created a massive stir. Within an hour, the fastest ships from each galactic power were racing toward Vesrak Prime. Taemin watched his sensors as more ships appeared in the system. Commander, we have incoming vessels. Lots of them. How many? Hyun-woo asked. 12 Rathari bioships, 8 luminous energy vessels, and 15 Corvin warships, all arriving within the next 4 hours. The unknown ship, which had identified itself as the Indomitable Dawn, remained perfectly still during all this activity. It seemed completely unconcerned by the growing fleet of alien vessels approaching. On the planet below, the trade negotiations had been stopped completely. Representatives from all 3 powers were holding emergency meetings about this new development. Ambassador Hai-wan of the Verthari Collective stood before the emergency assembly. In 300 years of galactic peace, we have never encountered an unknown spacefaring species. This changes everything. We must be careful, said the luminous Commonwealth representative, a being of pure energy contained in a crystal form. This species appeared without warning and possesses unknown technology. The Corvin Empire delegate, a large warrior with gray skin and battle scars, disagreed. We should assume hostile intent until proven otherwise. Unknown technology could mean unknown weapons. As the aliens debated on the planet, Captain Do-hyun received a new communication from the monitoring station. Unknown vessel Indomitable Dawn, came Soo-jin's voice. We have received authorization for formal diplomatic contact. Representatives from the Galactic Council are requesting a meeting. Excellent, Do-hyun replied. We accept the meeting request. However, we prefer to conduct diplomacy in person rather than over communications. This response caused more confusion among the aliens. How could they meet in person when the species were completely unknown to each other? What about biological contamination? Atmospheric compatibility? Safety protocols? Captain, Minseo said. They're asking about meeting logistics. They seem concerned about biological and atmospheric compatibility. Do-hyun chuckled. Tell them not to worry. We can adapt to their environmental needs. This statement sent shockwaves through the alien command structure. A species that could simply adapt to any environment? Such technology was beyond anything the 3 galactic powers possessed. Chief Engineer Sung-ho prepared the diplomatic shuttle, while the aliens continued their discussions. The shuttle was much smaller than the main ship, but it incorporated the same advanced technology that made humans superior. Yunji, you'll accompany the diplomatic team, Do-hyun decided. Your expertise in alien biology will be valuable. Yes, sir. Should I prepare cultural briefings? No need. We already know everything about their cultures. This casual statement revealed something the aliens couldn't yet understand. Humanity had been the observer, not the observed. They had watched and learned while remaining completely hidden. 2 hours later, the diplomatic shuttle launched from the indomitable dawn. The aliens watched in amazement as the small vessel moved, with the same impossible grace as the main ship. Their shuttle technology is as advanced as their main vessel, Taman reported. I'm not detecting any conventional propulsion systems. The shuttle approached the monitoring station and requested docking permission. The aliens scrambled to prepare their diplomatic meeting room while trying to guess what these mysterious beings might look like. What if they're hostile? One technician whispered. What if they're too alien to communicate with? Worried another. But Captain Do-hyun and his team were not worried at all. They had studied these species for 40 years. They knew their languages, their customs, their fears and hopes. The humans were prepared for anything. As the shuttle docked with the monitoring station, Ambassador Yeon Seo checked her universal translator and cultural database one final time. She had trained for this moment. Humanity's formal introduction to galactic civilization. Remember, she told her team, we reveal our presence gradually. No need to shock them with the full extent of our knowledge or capabilities. The airlock opened and the first human stepped onto an alien space station. History was about to change for both sides, but only the humans knew how dramatically. The age of secret observation was over. Now came the age of open contact, and the galaxy would never be the same. The airlock doors opened with a soft hiss. Commander Hyunwoo stood with his crew, watching as the first beings from an unknown species stepped onto their station. They looked almost familiar. Ambassador Yeon Seo walked forward with calm confidence. Behind her came 2 other humans, a man in a military uniform and a woman carrying what appeared to be scientific equipment. They moved like they belonged here, not like visitors to an alien station. Greetings, Yeon Seo said in perfect galactic standard language. I am Ambassador Yeon Seo, representing humanity. Thank you for agreeing to this meeting. Hyunwoo stared. The beings looked remarkably similar to his own species, but with subtle differences. More importantly, the ambassador spoke their language perfectly, not through a translator, but as if she had learned it naturally. Welcome aboard, Hyunwoo managed to say. I am Commander Hyunwoo of the Galactic Council Monitoring Station. We are honored by your visit. The human military officer stepped forward. I am Commander Minho, Diplomatic Security. The woman with us is Dr. Boram, our xenobiology specialist. Xenobiology, Taemin whispered to Soo-jin. They study alien biology? Dr. Boram heard the whisper and smiled. We find all life forms fascinating. Your species in particular has some very interesting adaptations. This casual comment sent chills through the alien crew. How could she know about their biological adaptations when this was supposedly first contact? The meeting moved to the station's main conference room. Representatives from the planet below joined via holographic communication. Vrathari collective members with their insect-like features, glowing, luminous Commonwealth beings, and stern Corvan Empire warriors. Before we begin formal discussions, the Vrathari representative said, we must ask, how do you know our languages and protocols so well? Ambassador Yeon Seo exchanged a glance with her companions. We have been observing your civilizations for some time. We wanted to understand you before making contact. The silence that followed was deafening. Observing? The Corvan delegate growled. For how long? Approximately 40 years, Minho replied matter-of-factly. The aliens looked at each other in shock. 40 years of secret observation meant this species had technology far beyond their own detection capabilities. That's impossible, the luminous Commonwealth representative said, their energy form flickering with agitation. Our sensor networks cover the entire galaxy. We would have detected any unknown civilization. Dr. Boram opened her equipment case and pulled out a small device. This is a basic stealth field generator. Our exploration ships have been using them for decades. She activated the device, and suddenly she seemed to fade from view. The aliens could barely see her even though she was sitting right in front of them. Your sensors work fine, she said, her voice coming from empty air. They just can't detect us when we don't want to be detected. She turned off the device and became visible again. The aliens sat in stunned silence. Taemin was the first to speak. If you've been watching us for 40 years, what do you know about us? Ambassador Yonseo consulted a device that looked far more advanced than anything the aliens had. We know about your trade agreements, your territorial disputes, your technological development levels, your cultural practices, and your recent peace negotiations. Impossible, breathed Sujin. We know that the Vrathari Collective makes decisions through their hive mind network. Yonseo continued. We know that the luminous Commonwealth values philosophical debate above military action. We know that the Corvin Empire has been trying to develop new weapon systems for the past decade. The Corvin representative's face went dark. You know about our classified military projects? We know about most things in this galaxy, Minho said calmly. We've been very thorough observers. The implications were staggering. An unknown species with superior stealth technology had been watching the three galactic powers for decades. They knew every secret, every weakness, every plan. Why reveal yourselves now? Asked the Vrathari representative. Because, Yonseo said, we believe it's time to join galactic civilization openly. We have much to offer. Before anyone could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the station. Sujin rushed to her communication panel. Commander, she called out, we have a problem. A Corvin battle fleet just dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the system. On the main screen, they could see over 200 Corvin warships taking aggressive positions. The fleet commander's face appeared on the communication channel. This is Admiral Tulmar of the Corvin Empire, the alien warrior announced. We demand that the unknown vessel surrender for inspection. Any resistance will be met with overwhelming force. The human representatives remained completely calm. Commander Minho actually looked amused. Admiral, Yonseo said into the communication system, we appreciate your concern, but there's no need for military action. Unknown species, Admiral Tulmar growled back. You will surrender your vessel or face the consequences. Captain Do-hyun's voice came over the communication from the indomitable Dawn. Ambassador, would you like me to handle this? Please do, Captain, Yonseo replied. The aliens watched in fascination as the human warship began to move. Instead of fleeing from the massive Corvin fleet, it headed directly toward them. Are they insane? Commander Hyunwoo whispered. One ship against 200? Tactical Officer Ji-won's voice came from the human warship. Captain, should I use standard suppression protocols? Yes, but be gentle, Captain Do-hyun replied. We don't want to hurt anyone. What happened next would be talked about across the galaxy for generations. The indomitable Dawn moved through the Corvin fleet like a ghost. Beams of energy that seemed to bend space itself reached out from the human ship. Every Corvin vessel they touched simply stopped. Engines went dead. Weapons powered down. Life support remained active, but everything else shut off completely. In less than 3 minutes, the entire Corvin battle fleet was floating helplessly in space. How? Admiral Tulmar's voice crackled with static and rage. What did you do to my ships? Engineer Seung-ho's voice answered from the human ship. Selective electromagnetic pulse technology. Your crews are perfectly safe, but your systems will need about 6 hours to reboot. The aliens in the conference room sat in absolute silence. A single human warship had just disabled the most powerful battle fleet in the galaxy, without firing a shot or causing a single casualty. That's impossible, the Corvin representative whispered. Actually, it's quite simple, Dr. Boram said, pulling up holographic diagrams. Your shield technology operates on frequencies we learned to bypass decades ago. Your computer systems use quantum processors that are vulnerable to specific electromagnetic patterns. She showed them technical readouts that revealed intimate knowledge of Corvin military technology. You see, Ambassador Yonseo explained. When we said we've been observing you, we meant we've been studying everything. Your strengths, your weaknesses, your technological limitations. The Vrathari representative spoke in a shaking voice. You could have conquered us at any time. Conquest was never our goal, Yonseo replied. We prefer cooperation. Commander Minho leaned forward. We've been waiting for your civilizations to mature politically. Your recent peace negotiations showed us you were ready for a larger galactic community. The communication channel crackled as Admiral Tulmar's voice came through again. What are your intentions? Are you here to rule us? Captain Do-hyun's voice was patient and kind. Admiral, we're here to offer friendship. Your ships will be fully operational in a few hours. We suggest using that time to reconsider your approach. As the disabled Corvin fleet drifted in space, the three galactic powers faced a new reality. They were no longer the advanced civilizations they thought they were. Humanity had just demonstrated technological superiority that made their own achievements look primitive. But instead of conquering or threatening them, these humans offered partnership. The galaxy had just learned that being the strongest didn't mean you had to be the cruelest. Sometimes the most powerful choice was to extend a helping hand. The age of 3 galactic powers was ending. The age of 4 was about to begin. 3 months after first contact, the galaxy was falling apart. Dr. Borum stood in her new laboratory on Galactic Council Station Alpha, watching news feeds from across known space. Social unrest, political upheaval, and economic chaos spread like wildfire through the 3 major civilizations. The Corvin military is demanding their government take aggressive action against humanity, her assistant reported. They can't accept that their entire fleet was disabled so easily. What about the Vrthari? Boram asked. Their hive mind is experiencing something they call cognitive dissonance. Half their collective wants to become human vassals. The other half wants to hide from us completely. Boram sighed as she looked at the data. The revelation of human technological superiority had shattered the confidence of 3 entire civilizations. Species that had considered themselves advanced now felt like children playing with toys. On the monitoring station where first contact had occurred, Taemin was experiencing his own crisis. He sat in the station's small garden area, staring out at the stars. Sujin found him there during her break from communication duties. Still thinking about everything that's happened? She asked, sitting beside him. I've worked my whole career believing we were advanced, Taemin said quietly. Our technology, our science, our understanding of the universe. And then humans show up and make us look like we just invented fire. The humans seem nice enough, Sujin offered. That almost makes it worse, Taemin replied. They could have conquered us easily, but they're treating us like students. This was the problem spreading across the galaxy. The psychological impact of discovering a superior civilization was devastating. Entire belief systems were crumbling. On the human side, philosopher Chung Min had been assigned to help deal with this crisis. He worked with teams of alien psychologists and social scientists, trying to understand why the revelation of human capabilities had caused such chaos. The issue, Chung Min explained to a gathering of alien leaders, is that your civilizations reached a comfortable plateau. You stopped pushing the boundaries of what you thought was possible. The Vrthari representative, now speaking for a fractured collective, asked, "But how did humanity advance so far beyond us?" "We've had space travel for thousands of years." Changmin smiled gently. "We've had it for less than 200. The difference isn't time, it's approach." He activated a holographic display showing human scientific development. Every time we thought we understood a law of physics, we asked, what if we're wrong? And every time we reached a technological limit, we asked, how can we go beyond this? The alien leaders watched as the display showed human scientists constantly questioning their own assumptions, constantly pushing into new territories of knowledge. Your civilizations became comfortable, Changmin continued. You reached levels of technology that seemed sufficient, so you stopped reaching for more. But the risks, protested the luminous Commonwealth representative. Pushing too hard into unknown science could destroy civilizations. It could, Changmin agreed. But the greater risk is standing still while the universe continues to change around you. Meanwhile, Security Chief Wu Jin was dealing with a more immediate problem. His intelligence networks had detected growing extremist movements across all 3 civilizations. The groups are calling themselves the Galactic Purity Alliance, Wu Jin reported to the Human Leadership Council. They believe humanity represents an existential threat to their species' independence. Ambassador Su Young, who had replaced Yon Seo as the senior human diplomat, reviewed the threat reports. How serious is this movement? Serious enough that they're sharing technology and resources across species lines, Wu Jin replied. Traditionally, these 3 civilizations barely cooperated. Now fear of humanity is uniting their extremist factions. Admiral Kyung-ho joined the discussion via holographic link from Earth. Do they represent a genuine military threat? Not to us, Wu Jin said. But they could destabilize their own governments. Some Corvan generals are considering joining them. Several Vrathari hive clusters have gone into isolation. Parts of the Luminous Commonwealth are advocating complete withdrawal from galactic affairs. This was exactly what humanity had hoped to avoid. Their goal had been to lift up galactic civilization, not destroy it through psychological trauma. Dr. Boram proposed a solution during the next council meeting. We need to show them that advancement doesn't mean replacement. They need to see that they can achieve what we've achieved. How do we do that without giving them dangerous technology? Asked Admiral Kyung-ho. We teach them our methods, not our results, Boram explained. We show them how to think differently about scientific problems. The first human-alien collaborative research station was established on a neutral moon. Scientists from all 4 civilizations worked together on projects that pushed the boundaries of known science. Dr. In-sung led the human team. His specialty was helping alien scientists overcome their conceptual limitations. The problem isn't your intelligence, he told a frustrated Vrathari researcher. The problem is that you've been taught certain things are impossible. He showed the alien scientist a basic quantum field manipulation device, technology that seemed magical, to the 3 galactic civilizations. Your science says this shouldn't work, In-sung explained. But what if your science is incomplete? Working together, human and alien scientists began achieving breakthroughs that amazed everyone. The aliens discovered they could push beyond their perceived limitations when they stopped accepting that limitations were permanent. Cultural attaché Nari worked on a different aspect of the problem. She helped alien societies understand that technological advancement didn't require abandoning their cultural identities. Humanity didn't become strong by becoming uniform, she explained. To a gathering of worried alien cultural leaders, we became strong by encouraging diversity of thought and approach. She showed them examples of human societies that had maintained their unique cultures while contributing to overall human advancement. Your insect-based collective thinking could solve problems we can't, she told the Vrathari. Your energy-being perspective offers insights we lack, she said to the Luminous Commonwealth. Your warrior culture's focus on excellence could push boundaries we haven't even considered, she explained to the Corvan. Slowly, the message began to spread. Humanity wasn't here to replace them, but to help them become the best versions of themselves. The breakthrough came when the first joint research project produced results that excited everyone. A team of human and alien scientists had developed a new type of faster-than-light communication that surpassed even human technology. We did this together, announced Dr. In-sung at the press conference. Human innovation combined with Vrathari collective processing, Luminous Commonwealth energy manipulation, and Corvan systematic analysis. The result was something none of the species could have achieved alone. News of the breakthrough spread across the galaxy. For the first time since first contact, the alien civilizations had something to be proud of. They weren't just recipients of human advancement. They were contributors to galactic progress. The extremist movements began to lose support as people saw new possibilities opening up. Working with humans didn't mean surrendering their identity. It meant discovering new aspects of their potential, Ambassador Su Young addressed the Reformed Galactic Council in its first session, including human representatives. The galaxy is not zero-sum, she said. One species becoming stronger doesn't make others weaker. When we all advance together, everyone benefits. Council President Haiwan, who had been elected to represent the new 4-species alliance, nodded in agreement. The question is no longer whether we can coexist with human superiority. The question is how quickly we can all advance together. As the session ended, Tae-min sat in the observation gallery, watching the representatives from 4 species work together on solving galactic problems. The crisis was passing. The fear was being replaced by hope. The galaxy was learning that having someone stronger than you wasn't a threat. It was an opportunity to become stronger yourself. 1 year after first contact, Tae-min could barely recognize the galaxy he lived in. He stood on the observation deck of the new Deep Space Research Station, watching as the first joint exploration fleet prepared to depart for the galactic core. Ships from all 4 species moved together in perfect formation, human vessels with their graceful white hulls, Vrathari bioships pulsing with organic life. luminous Commonwealth energy craft glowing like captured stars, and Corvin warships now painted in the bright colors of peaceful exploration. Hard to believe how much has changed, Sujin said, joining him at the window. She wore the new uniform of the Galactic Exploration Service, an organization that hadn't existed a year ago. I keep expecting to wake up, Taemin admitted. A year ago, we thought we knew everything about the galaxy. Now we're preparing to explore regions that were impossible to reach. The Joint Fleet was equipped with human-designed faster-than-light drives that could travel distances the old technology couldn't dream of. But more importantly, each ship carried mixed crews from all 4 species. Commander Jae-sung had been chosen to lead the expedition. He was human, but his second-in-command was Vrathari. His chief scientist was from the Luminous Commonwealth, and his security chief was Corvin. The integration had happened faster than anyone expected. Captain Jae-sung to all ships, came the announcement over the communication system. Final systems check complete. We launch in 30 minutes. Down in the station's main laboratory, Dr. Boram was putting the finishing touches on the cultural analysis protocols. Her team would study any new civilizations they encountered, using lessons learned from the traumatic first contact with the 3 galactic powers. We need to be more careful next time, she told her mixed species research team. The psychological impact of meeting a superior civilization can be devastating. If we find other species out there, we have to introduce ourselves gradually. Her Vrathari assistant nodded agreement. The hive mind has developed new protocols for processing overwhelming information. We can share these with any species that might need them. The transformation hadn't been easy. The first 6 months after contact had been chaotic, with governments falling and societies restructuring themselves. But humans had learned something important about themselves in the process. Being strong meant having the responsibility to help others become strong too. Ambassador Su Young finished her final meeting with the Galactic Council and prepared to join the exploration fleet as chief diplomatic officer. The council chamber now included representatives from all 4 species working as equals, not as superiors and inferiors. The new Galactic Accord is officially ratified, she announced to the gathered representatives. All 4 species commit to sharing scientific advancement, protecting each other from external threats, and exploring the galaxy together. Council President Haiwan smiled as she signed the final documents. 1 year ago, I thought the galaxy had 3 major powers. Today, I know it has one, us working together. The exploration fleet represented more than just advanced technology. It represented a new way of thinking about civilization itself. Chief Engineer Seong-ho had worked with alien engineers to create ships that combined the best innovations from all 4 species. The result was vessels that surpassed even pure human technology. The bioorganic components from Vrathari science make our ships partially alive, he explained to a group of reporters. Luminous Commonwealth energy systems give us power efficiency we never achieved alone. Corvin structural engineering creates hulls stronger than anything we built before. Cultural attaché Nari had spent months working on the social dynamics of mixed crews. The key, she explained, is understanding that different doesn't mean inferior. Each species brings unique strengths. She had developed training programs that helped crews from different species work together effectively. Humans learned to appreciate Vrathari collective decision-making. The insect-like species learned to value human individual creativity. Energy beings discovered the satisfaction of physical problem-solving. Warriors found new ways to channel their competitive nature into scientific achievement. As the launch time approached, Captain Do-hyun contacted the exploration fleet from the Indomitable Dawn, now serving as a patrol ship for the new Galactic Alliance. Good luck out there, he told Captain Jae-sung. Remember, you're not just representing your own species anymore. You're representing all of us. The psychological healing process had been as important as the technological integration. Philosopher Chang Min had worked with alien thinkers to develop new ways of understanding progress and achievement. Success isn't about being better than others. He had taught in his lectures that were broadcast across the galaxy. Success is about everyone becoming better together. This philosophy had revolutionized how the species viewed competition and cooperation. Instead of seeing advancement as a zero-sum game, they began to see it as a shared journey. Security Chief Wu Jin reported from his new position as head of Galactic Defense Coordination. All extremist groups have either disbanded or joined mainstream society. The fear that drove them has been replaced by excitement about new possibilities. The former Galactic Purity Alliance members were now among the most enthusiastic supporters of interspecies cooperation, having discovered that working with humans enhanced rather than diminished their own capabilities. As the countdown reached its final moments, representatives from all 4 species gathered on the main observation deck. The moment represented more than just a space launch, represented the birth of a truly united galactic civilization. 10 seconds to launch, announced Captain Jae-sung. The joint fleet activated their drives simultaneously. Instead of the harsh energy bursts of traditional launches, the ships simply faded from view as they entered hyperspace, heading for regions of the galaxy that had been unreachable just months before. Dr. In-sung, now serving as the expedition's chief scientist, had equipped the fleet with sensors and analysis equipment that combined innovations from all 4 species. "We're not just exploring new space," he had explained. "We're using new ways of seeing." The ships would investigate the galactic core where ancient mysteries waited. They would look for signs of other civilizations. They would map regions that had been blank spaces on every chart. Most importantly, they would do it together. Ambassador Su Young's final report to Earth Command summarized the transformation. Mission accomplished beyond all expectations. We came to introduce humanity to galactic civilization. Instead, we created a new kind of galactic civilization entirely. As the exploration fleet disappeared into the cosmic distance, those left behind continued their work of building the new galactic order. Research stations shared discoveries in real time. Trade networks operated on principles of mutual benefit rather than competition. Defense fleets protected all member worlds equally. Taemin returned to his monitoring duties, but now he watched over a galaxy transformed. His sensors tracked ships from 4 species working together, exploring together, growing together. A year ago, he had detected an impossible energy signature that changed everything. Now, similar signatures were being created by joint fleets heading out to discover what other impossibilities waited in the vast cosmos. His final log entry of the day captured the new reality. Monitoring station report: all systems normal. Joint exploration fleet has successfully departed for the galactic core. Long-range sensors detect no threats to any member worlds. The galaxy is at peace, and we are no longer alone in our curiosity about what lies beyond. The age of 3 galactic powers was a distant memory. The age of one united galactic civilization had begun, reaching toward mysteries that none of them could have solved alone. In the vast darkness between stars, new discoveries waited for those brave enough to seek them together.